Hello, it's Semblance. Today we will be discussing one of, if not my most, favorite Lemony Snicket character. That goes to none other than Ellington Feint. She is one of the many characters in All the Wrong Questions, and she is a big driving force for both sides, Hainfiles and Lemony Snickets. She is the link that holds the whole series together. Without her, the series would have been a lot blander and, as such, a lot more uninteresting. Now, throughout the series, she commits many heinous acts against the good guys, and the question of her morality and if she's justified or not has been circulating throughout the internet for a while now, ever since 2012, or conception in the series. So I thought it would be fun to say my defense of Ellington Feint. Starting off, it's important to remember that she is still not even 16, probably. She's around Lemonie's age, which is 12 to 13. And so she's not fully matured yet. And she is in a very broken household. We don't know anything of her mother, but it's safe to assume that Hainfire or Armstrong Feint probably raised Ellington on his own, if the information Ellington has said about her past is anything to go by. She mentions her father numerous times, but never of her mother, so it's safe to assume she never truly knew her. That alone is enough to harm anyone, let alone, as I told you, a teenager. And when you lose that only person in your life, in her instance, her father, she or anyone would act irrationally and try to get them back. I myself know that I would kill to save my associates. And remember, this is her family, her only family. So, although her actions in the series are questionable, I tend to forgive her because she's not deceiving Lemony or the others for the sake of being evil or destroying something. She's trying to get her father back. And in that instance, she is certainly the hero in her story, because it's often up in air if a villain is the hero in their eyes, and I most certainly believe that Ellington is a hero, because we'll get to that later, but here's the thing, she doesn't even try to act like what she's doing isn't bad. She knows it's bad, but she'll still do it to get her father back, and I commend her for that. She's true to herself. My second point of defending Ellington: she isn't just deceiving Lemony, such as in chapter 11, I believe, Who Could I Be at This Hour? She is blushing around Lemony because I think she honestly did like him and just wanted to share something that was close to her heart. And I certainly can relate to that. And she also, in chapter 12, when she's clawing at I'm sorry, at some point in the book, I can't remember which time, it's either chapter 7 or chapter 8 or chapter 12, when she's clawing at Stuart Mitchum's hand for being a jerk to Lemony. She's not doing that just to build his trust or something, because, well, she could have gone about other ways to proving herself to him. She's honestly just trying to help him. Later in the series, why aren't you in school? Or shouldn't you be in school? She is shown to... She's dragging him back to her room to protect him, and although it was part of the plan of... Perhaps it was part of the plan of her bringing him back to her room, she still could have just left him in the mud with Stuart. I don't think she was fully working for Hainfire at that point. I think, even though it may have been part of his plan, she is the one who convinced Hainfire so that she can protect him, because honestly, Hainfire could have just killed Lemony, as he tried to do in the end of the book before this. So, and the whole point of her helping Cleo in the second book, she's doing this because... why? She get closer to Hainfire and other methods, but no, she's actively trying to help. So, is she just being deceitful the whole series? No, she honestly does care about her associates. Point number 3. Touching a bit more on the point I made in point 1. She isn't doing... She's not like saying how this is good or anything, or trying to gaslight herself or the characters into thinking she's morally just. No, she knows what she's doing is awful, and she even does try to stop it. Like in the end of Shouldn't You Be in School, with the setting the library on fire. She doesn't want this to happen, but she do anything and everything to get her father back. And I think that makes her much better than many other characters throughout fiction or in the real world. Her actions may not be morally just, but she certainly is morally just. And my last point will be, she was just a child who lost her only family, and when there was a possibility of getting that family back, I, as well as whoever's watching this, will probably agree that they would do anything and everything to get them back. Hainfire is the one at fault. We shouldn't be having to interrogate Ellington. It's all Hainfire in this instance. He manipulated his daughter into helping him, and I think that if we are all pointing our fingers at Ellington, we're no better than the Mitchum officers, because they often pointed their fingers at the wrong people, including Ellington in many cases. So let's not be like the characters who actively let a murderer go away. Let us try, instead of interrogating, we could try sympathizing with the girl who lost everything. I have written this. I say written, but I didn't really write it. I just have been saying it out loud. Anyways, I had created this episode mostly for one person in particular, and I hope you had enjoyed it. This was very fun to write. What do you think of Ellington Feint? Is she, or I hope I at least changed your view slightly to understand her more. Feel free to argue with me in the comments section. This is Semblance. I hope you rest pleasantly.